So, if you spend all day sitting in a chair and your evenings are all about that nagging, annoying backache, well, you've come to the right place. We are going to break down the complete guide to escaping what's called the sitting trap and finally getting a handle on that pain for good. Let's dive right in. I mean, it's the most frustrating thing, right? You think you're doing everything you're supposed to. You take it easy, you lie down, maybe you even skip the gym. But then the second you stand up or bend over to grab something, that familiar ache just comes right back. It really feels like you're not actually fixing the real problem. And honestly, you're not.
See, the root of this whole endless cycle isn't some deep, fundamental weakness in your spine. Nope, it's the very thing you probably stand hours in every single day. Your chair is literally setting a trap, and your lower back is what's getting caught in it.
So what exactly is this sitting trap? Well, you can think of it like a biomechanical chain reaction that starts the moment you sit down. It creates this massive imbalance in your body that has some serious consequences. Let's break down the two main parts of this trap.
Okay, so on one side of the coin, you've got your hip flexors. Those are the muscles right at the front of your hips. When you sit, they're stuck in this shortened position for hours, and over time, they basically get locked up. Then on the other side, you've got your glutes. They're just being squished, not asked to do any work at all, so they just go to sleep. They completely check out.
And this quote right here, it nails the whole problem. When your hips are super tight and your glutes are completely offline, which muscle group do you think has to pick up all the slack every single time you stand up, walk, or bend over? You guessed it, your lower back. It's forced to do the job of two major muscle groups that just aren't doing theirs. That is the pain you're feeling.
So how in the world do we fix this? Well, the key isn't just to do a random bunch of exercises you found online. No, the source material is incredibly clear on this. The sequence, the actual order you do these movements in, is the single most important part of actually getting out of pain.
And the logic behind this is so simple and so powerful. First, you absolutely have to unlock those tight hip flexors. Only after that can you even begin to wake up those sleeping glutes. And once those two are finally working together again, then and only then can you restore healthy, full movement to the lower back itself.
All right, every single session starts right here. This is not optional. Why? Because when you walk backward, it forces your leg to extend fully behind you. It's a movement that gets incredibly weak and short from sitting all day. This simple 5-minute warm-up is what gets your whole system ready for the real work that's about to come.
Okay, now that the hips are prepped, we hit step 1, the lunge stretch. It's pretty straightforward. You're going to hold for 45 seconds on each side, really focusing on feeling that release right in the front of your hip. Remember, the point here isn't just about flexibility. It's about unlocking the very tension that's been yanking on your lower back day in and day out. And this is just so important to understand because it explains the why behind the order. This quote gets to the absolute core of the whole routine. If you skip this step and try to do glute exercises, you are literally fighting your own body. It's like trying to hit the gas while your foot is still slammed on the brakes. It just doesn't work. And of course, you want to progress this thing over time. Once the basic lunge with your knee on the floor starts to feel manageable, it's time to level up. You can elevate that back foot on a couch or a chair. This is a game changer because it deepens the stretch and gets right into the psoas muscle, a deep hip flexor that attaches directly to your lower spine, making it a huge culprit in back pain.
So, the brakes are off, the hips are unlocked, now it's finally time to wake up those glutes. Our tool for this is a slow, controlled glute bridge, and the whole point is to reestablish that mind-muscle connection that has probably been dormant for years.
And the secret sauce here? It's all about the tempo. This isn't about speed. It's about control. We're talking a 3-second push-up, a full 2-second squeeze at the very top, where you really feel those glutes fire, and then a slow 3-second trip back down. This deliberate pace is what forces your glutes to wake up and do their job. And just like the lunge, we're going to progress this one too. Once you can do 3 solid sets of 10 with both legs and you feel totally in control, you'll move on to the single leg bridge. This is awesome because it's like a truth serum for your glutes. It immediately exposes any imbalances between your left and right sides and forces each one to pull its own weight. All right, with the hips and glutes finally working together again, we can at last give the back itself some attention. And notice what we're doing here. We are not trying to breeze-sit or keep it rigid. The goal is to gently and slowly restore its full, natural range of motion with that classic cat-cow movement. And you know, this is a massive point because it flies in the face of so much common advice. How many of us have been told over and over to keep a neutral spine and to never ever round our back? Well, as this quote points out, that advice can actually make things worse. When you never let your back move through its full range, the muscles there just get weak and stiff. Gently moving them is what brings back strength and health.
Okay, so you've laid the foundation, you've unlocked your hips, you've turned on your glutes, and you've restored motion to your back. Now it's time to build some real, lasting strength. These final finisher moves are what will turn temporary relief into a permanent fix. First, you've got the ATG split squat, which is an absolute game changer. It stretches that hip flexor while it's under load, which strengthens the muscle in a long, healthy position. Then there's the elephant walk. This is all about dynamically lengthening your entire backside, your hamstrings, your glutes, your lower back, all through movement, not just by sitting in a static stretch.
Look, we can talk about the best routine in the world, but it's completely useless if you don't actually do it. So this final piece of the puzzle is all about strategy. How do you actually weave this into your daily life so that the changes stick around for good? Here's the game plan for making this a real habit. First, start simple. Just commit to those first 3 core exercises: the lunge, the bridge, and the cat-cow. That's it. Second, make it non-negotiable by stacking it onto a habit you already have. For example, do the routine right before you open your laptop to start work. And finally, and this is key, you have to progress weekly. Always be aiming for just a little more depth, a little more control. And honestly, this right here is the biggest takeaway of all. The individual exercises, they aren't magic. The magic is in the logic. It's understanding why you're doing what you're doing it in the correct order, and then consistently pushing yourself just a little bit week after week. That right there is your path out of the sitting trap for good.